Hi, fifth graders, and welcome to our online video lesson this week. Today we are going to focus on the piece Entry of the Tumblers. We're going to play from measure 21 all the way to the end of measure 39. This video was made for viola students, and we will be playing the viola part in this video. Now, before we begin, I wanted to let you know that I'm going to be posting all of the materials that you need to participate in our online lessons in Google Classroom. So if you log on to Google Classroom and you go to the classwork tab and scroll down, you'll see a section called Sheet Music and Handouts, and that's where you can find all the materials for this class. For example, if you need an extra copy of the song Entry of the Tumblers, you can look there and print it out for yourself. Okay, let's begin. So we're going to start off today with a D major scale, half notes, to warm up for our song. So everybody please put your instruments in position and place your bow on the D string. Check your posture. Make sure your instrument's at a good height. Make sure your feet are flat on the ground and your back is tall. We're going to play a D major scale and half notes. I'll count you in. 1 and 2 and ready, begin. Now, before we practice the song, I wanted to talk to you a bit about dynamics. I notice in this part of the song, measure 21 to 39, that we have a lot of dynamic variation. And so what dynamics are essentially is it's the volume of the music, so how loud or soft the music is. And we have two basic dynamics. We have forte, which means loud, and piano, which means to play soft. And in your music, the way it's notated, always under the music notes, if you have a lowercase italicized letter F, it stands for forte. And that's how you know to play those notes loud. And then of course, if you ever have a lowercase letter P under your notes, that is telling you to play the music piano or soft. Now, there's a whole spectrum of dynamics besides the two main ones, forte and piano. So you see, I've written the dynamics from loudest to softest. When you have two lowercase f's in the music, it means fortissimo, to play very loud. If you have MF, mezzo forte, that means to play medium loud. So medium loud is a little bit quieter than loud. And then you have MP, which means mezzo piano, medium soft. It's not quite as soft as piano, but it's still a delicate dynamic. And then when you have two lowercase p's in the bottom of your music, then that means pianissimo. It means to play very soft. Now we have another very special dynamic that I haven't written on the board yet in this section of the song. So if you take a look at measure number 34, you'll see under the music you have CRESC. This is an abbreviation for the word crescendo. Crescendo. It doesn't tell you to play soft or loud, but instead it tells you the direction that the dynamic is going. So if you have a crescendo, it means to get gradually louder. So for instance, in our sheet music, if you take a look at measure 33, you'll see that the dynamic is telling you to play forte, loud. And then in measure 34, we have a crescendo. Well, aren't we already playing loud? But if you keep looking ahead to measure 36, you see fortissimo. So what we're doing is starting from loud in measure 36 I'm sorry, measure 33, and we're getting gradually louder until we are very loud in measure 36. And so, as you can maybe guess, in this part of the music from measure 33 to 36, the crescendo is building the excitement of the notes. So this is a very exciting part of the song, I would say. Now, just a quick note to remind you how to play your dynamics. When it comes to dynamics, it's all about the bow. So, when you're trying to play one of the softer dynamics, for instance, mezzo piano, piano, or pianissimo, you want to use a lighter bow. You also want to use a smaller amount of bow. And I also recommend that when you play one of the piano dynamics that you stay in the upper half of the bow. I'm not sure if you've noticed this, but the tip is much lighter than the frog. So when you play in the upper part of the bow, it really helps you achieve the softer dynamics. And in order to play the louder dynamics like mezzo forte, forte, and fortissimo, it's like the opposite. So you're using a lot of bow, you're using more bow weight, and also you can play more in the lower part of the bow in order to get those louder dynamics. Now there's one more thing I wanted to mention before we start practicing the song, and that is for the viola part in particular, you need to read a lot of the low notes on the G string. And I know that we don't have a lot of experience reading on the G string because earlier this year we've been mostly focusing on reading on the D and the A string. So I did write the notes on the board here so you can see it. And for example, at measure 21 in particular, the note is second space. On viola and alto clef, that's a B, and you play that with the second finger on the G string. I wanted to let you know that a great resource, if you're having trouble reading these lower notes, I suggest you look at your scale packet. So towards the beginning of the year, I handed out a scale packet, and in the packet is the G scale. If you look at the G scale, you can use it as a reference to help you figure out some of these lower notes. And of course, if for some reason, especially since I handed it out at the beginning of the year, if for some reason you no longer have your scale packet, you can download it from Google Classroom in the classwork section. So I did put that up for you there so that you can use it as a resource. Okay. So now that we've talked about all the different elements of the song, let's try playing it and putting it together. So we're going to start right at measure 21. Make sure you have your sheet music set up so that you can see it well. Set your posture and position yourself so that your scroll is pointing towards the music stand so you can really read it well. And again, like I mentioned, measure 21 starts on a B, and it's 2 fingers set on the G string. So set 2 fingers on the G string and take a look at that dynamic, mezzo piano. So we want to be in the lighter part of the bow, like the upper half. Okay, let's give it a try. Ready? I'll count us in, starting at 21 and playing all the way through until measure 39. 1, 2, ready, go. Louder and loud. All right, students. And that is the end of measure 39. Could you really feel the excitement building at measure 33 to 36? So when you're practicing this song, try to make the energy really build through the dynamics as you go from measure 33 to 36. I also wanted to remind you that your assignment this week is to make a video of yourself playing measure 21 all the way until measure 40 or the end of measure 39. So practice this spot, as much as you can over the course of the week. And when you feel like you've achieved the highest level that you can on it, then get your camera rolling, take yourself a video, and upload it to Google Classroom in the assignments. In the assignments, you'll see assignment number 2. That's where you want to upload it and turn it in. And for more information on how to turn in assignments, just check the assignment section in Google Classroom. I have some instructions there for you. Anyway, students, I hope that you're, doing well, you're healthy, you're happy, you're getting in hopefully a bit of quality family time while we're all practicing social distancing. I look forward to seeing all of your video submissions, and I'll see you next week. Have a fun week.